Hello everybody, welcome back to Thornton Farm, where today we are working the bales again. Why is that a 5,000? Why is this not working? Oh, I see what I did wrong there. Today we're working the baler again. We're gonna get this field baled up and hopefully get, I think field 15 will be next week to get mowed, which is going to be the major bale field. That's going to be where probably the well, we're probably going to get like 100 bales out of that field, if not a few more than that. But that is the plan for today. We're going to get this field baled up and hopefully get into field 15 today. The fast track, for those of you who watched the previous video, is still stuck on its side because I'm pretty much recording this immediately after the last one. And where did I put my phone? I don't know, I wanted to grab my phone to check some stuff, but I can't remember where I put it. Oh, there it is. There we go. I like having my phone nearby just so that I can keep an eye on some stuff that is being spoken about and talked about in private messages. Especially today. So, we've already got 2 bales out of this field. We're only on the first headland, we got 2 bales out of the field already. I don't have the telehandler nearby. Everything is fully stocked on the baler at the moment, so we shouldn't run into many issues with the things. With wrap running out completely, we shouldn't actually run into any of that kind of issues. We'll probably have to replace the foil wrap at some point during this field, which isn't too big a deal. The net wrap should hold for the remainder of the field. And quick question for people who do farm in real life: how on earth do you know when the net wrap is gone on a baler like this? Is it that you watch for the door opening and then you don't hear the net wrap going? Or does it... I'm guessing it has some sort of sensor and like display for you. I'm guessing. But I honestly don't know. In any case, we're up to 5 bales, possibly. Well, that's the 6th bale just after being injected onto the wrapping platform. And yeah, we're probably going to get a good 30, 40, maybe even 50 bales out of this field. This is the side of the farm where most of the bales will come from anyway, so it's not too big of a deal having a bunch of bales lying around here. It's not too far to the yard, and anyway, so it's not gonna be the end of the world. 4 rolls are empty again. Whoa, that is a 6,000 litre bale. Good, good, good. Also, how exactly could you run out of 1 foil roll on this thing? Unless you can get it running with 1 roll going, which I guess you could, in real life you would. If one of the rolls ran out, you just run the other until they were even again. Or even some people, I would imagine, would just use the one one wrapper all the time. Or one side of the wrapper and just double up what it's trying to sense. Unless this thing literally will not run, unless the Ultima will not run without the wrapper being full. Seven bales and we're coming up to the end of the headland. We should have probably like 10 bales, 10, 11 bales at the end of this headland here. And oh yeah, I forgot I made a hames in this area, so let's just get this turn as tight as we can. And if it looks like I'm a good driver when I'm baling, it's because all I need to worry about is what's directly in front of the tractor. It doesn't matter too much what's behind, because the baler's there. So that's kind of why I sometimes look like I'm a better driver when I'm baling. It's because I generally don't need to worry about the quality of my driving. Plus, especially with this, it bogs the tractor down so much that the speed is only 5 kilometers an hour currently on relatively flat land. That's kind of our top speed. My foot is flat to the ground. The accelerator, it's about as fast as we're able to go. But one thing I must say is these silage bales do look nice dotted around the map. Like, very nice indeed. And the real question, I suppose, is how many are we going to get from this field? Up to 10. Well, 11 now. That literally just dropped off and another one was ready. Wow. Okay. So yeah, this is running at full capacity, I would argue. Although I don't think there's much of an argument to it when it's dropping a bale off the back and immediately dropping another one onto the wrapping platform. I don't think there's much of an argument to be had there at all. Let's get that sorted. There we go. 272 silage bales so far. I'm really making one lonely farmer look like he's got an easy life at some points. Because these are all round bales. These are going into one of the lines I'll need in a bit. That's kind of inconvenient. The problems with having to, well, with baling on a hill, I suppose. Just want to make sure we get every last bit of this. There we go. Now, the joy of the fent on this thing is that it can turn really quite tightly. The downside is we did lose a bit of maximum output time there. We're up to 14 bales already, and we're still only on the headlands. I'm not looking forward to picking all these up. I am going to be honest, because it's just going to be. I think stacking these is going to be the bigger issue. Because I'm going to have a lot of patience to stack these, I think. There's a part of me just thinking, Dave, why don't you just... This might be what I do. Why don't you just go out with the grasshopper, get a couple 100,000 litres of silage together, grass silage, and just use that. And I think that might be the better option, just because of the amount of... the amount of bales that we have, and the fact that they're all small squares, or medium-sized squares, normal-sized squares. I think getting clamp silage will be the better option for this run around. And next time we'll make 1.4 meter bales, or figure out something to do with the bales that'll work better. Although one thing I do have to commend Seasons on is the fact that grass literally is worthless, because in real life who buys grass bales? You can sell them in farms by default, but who buys them? Is it some dude who wants to make a buttload of silage? There you go. That is dead center, top dead center on the wheel, for those of you who maybe enjoy watching my inputs. That's top dead center. Yeah, perfectly straight. And you can see that I'm very rarely actually on that. Usually within a couple of degrees, but I'm never really I never really have the wheel fully centered. Just kind of a weird personal preference of mine. Especially with the way the tractors behave. Like even here, look, I'm steering ever so slightly to the right. It's going to track slightly right, and then it will track slightly left. That's why I'm so bad at doing straight lines, is I very, very, very rarely actually steer straight ahead. But, oh dear, net wrap's running low. We may have to replace the net wrap. There's up to 20 bales. Yeah, we're going to be needing to replace the net wrap. And actually, we're going to need to replace the foil wrap before we even finish this field by the looks of things. But you can see there is spare net wrap in the baler. I think we're actually full of spare net wrap, so that's not going to be an issue. If anything, it is but an inconvenience. I think we got another couple of bales worth of net wrap. Nope. Never mind. Never mind, just when I thought we had a couple of bales worth left. Nope. That was our lot. So we've now done everything we can possibly do to this baler. We should be, in theory, good to continue to the end of this field, but I know in practice we'll probably need to replace the foil wraps one more time before we can leave the field. Just because we are baling quite dense grass. That's not even a complaint, that's a positive. The fact that this grass is so dense means that we're going to get good value for money. We're up to 282 bales. We might just hit 300 in this field. We might bale our 300th silage bale in this field, which would be pretty sweet, I think. So that's the baler. The baler's a third of the way full every single time that it empties the pre-charge chamber. Or the pre-press chamber, as it's called. But I kind of prefer calling it a pre-charge. Because you're charging the compression chamber. The main chamber, the baler itself. I feel like that makes more sense as a name for it. But, oh, that's interesting. I've just had a look at glance. And the percentage jumps up because the pre-pressed chamber isn't engaged at the moment. It's showing how full the bale is. But as soon as you get to about just over halfway, it suddenly changes to being, I think, how full the... it changes at random depending on whether or not the pre-pressed chamber is engaged. But definitely when the baler's full, it'll suddenly change to being counting the pre-pressed chamber and the pre-charged chamber as being part of the baler in glance, which is actually really nice, I think. I think that's a really good way of doing it. So if you watch, it'll jump up and down almost at random, but it just depends on when glance detects. Because you'll see that the pre-pressed chamber on the readout is usually jumping between 0 and 1%, and it's that 1% blip that glance detects as being, oh, there's an extra fill level in this. Extra, like, 2,000 litres or so. And that's what glance is seeing, which is very, very interesting indeed. Now we are at 288 bales total. I think this is a good... Oh, the foil wrap's empty again. Told you. Told you I need to refill it. I said earlier on that I'd need to refill the foil wrap, and look at this, I have to refill the foil wrap again. Somebody worked it out last week, as it's on average every 22 bales I need to refill the foil wrap. So anything over 28, anything over 22 bales in the field, you're probably gonna have to refill it at least once, because we were so early into the field when we had to refill it. I figured we'd need to do it again. Is that in the way in any way? No, that's... That bale is actually behaving very nicely. These fields with the silage bales in them do look very, very nice indeed. I'm just going to give Discord a quick check. There we go. So 290, will we get 10 bales out of that area? I don't think we will. I think we might be just short of 300 in this field. We'll be running close to it, I think, because we got 291 just wrapped there. There's 291. We'll get 292 onto the chamber. 293 is a third of the way done. 294. Oh, we got about 295. 294, 295 into this field, which means we'll be at 33-ish bales just from this field. For those of you looking at the readout that is on the right hand side of the screen, the left hand number is a total of all of the fields so far, and the right hand side is how many have been coming out of this field. And both numbers are pleasantly high, considering each one of these bales is about 6,000 litres. That is a pleasantly high number. And considering it doesn't matter too much, there's 33 wrapped. Also known as 293. I think there's 294 going on to the wrapper. Yeah, I think 295 is going to be the number from this field. I think. Now the issue is going to be trying to deal with those two bales over there that are actually stopped up on the windrow we need. They're parked right where we need to be in about a minute's time. So there's 295 going onto the wrapping thing. Yes. The wrapper. The wrapping table. Spinning table of wrappiness. And 296. Oh, we'll get 296 bales. It's even closer to 300 than I had anticipated. Which is a very pleasant surprise. That's 296 going on now. We won't quite hit 297 because the baler's completely empty at the moment. And I'm just gonna run over those bales because I need to get this bit of grass up. One little bit of grass there. There we go. And we'll drop 296. There we go. So 296 bales total, 36 from that field. That is not at all bad. Just reset the counter there for the next field that we go into, which it's actually going to be field 2, isn't it? Or field 3? What field number is that? Field 2. That was field 1. We're going to stop the fence there because it's out of the way. We're going to get the Big M, which is actually going to be down this way, isn't it? Gonna get the Big M. Get that on the move into field 2. We can get that at least started mowing today. I'll expect to get, with 36 bales out of that field, I'd expect to get 40 to 45 out of field 2 here. And somewhere up near 60 out of 15. In fact, field 2 is going to be a lot more than 45. It's going to be 50 to 60. Pretty easily. Where is the field entrance, however? That is the problem we'll run into. Well, it's the problem we'll run into right now. There it is. Slow right down. Get it in. In we go. In we go. Close the gate. And we'll just back it up here. Unfold the mower. And we can worry about headlands and whatnot right about now. So off we go. On yet another magical mystery tour of this field. I might get rid of that tree that's just kind of there. That's gonna get on my nerves. Because it's reducing the overall yield from this field. I mean, it's... I get the feeling field 1 was actually on a reduced yield as well, because I did skip through night time, so I think field 1 might even have been on reduced yield mode. Where it had eaten off a small layer of the windrow. Because this looks significantly larger than the field 1 windrows did. Now if that's the case, then we're going to be pretty sweet for... Well, we're going to be definitely pretty sweet for cash. Downside is going to be dealing with all the bales. That is the problem with the way that I've decided to play this map, I guess. To play this farm and to work it is with all the grass fields. Because I do give myself all the grass fields. it ends up being very, very grasswork heavy. And very silage heavy as a result, which I'm sure some of you don't mind, especially seeing as it means I get to play around with the silage equipment. I do prefer making silage bales to making pit silage. It's a bit easier to work. And of course it does mean I get to use the Big M because this speeds up the work to no end. Don't quite know how I'll do hay with this thing, but that is a problem for another day. Because it's too cold for making... Well, it's too cold and too high of a risk of rain for making hay bales at the moment. So silage is going to be the way forward, and this grass is looking like it's going to be pretty peaky. It's going to get some good silage out of this. How do I want to mow this field when it comes to the straight lines? It looks like I'll actually... Do I want to... Thinking. I've run out of time to think. Yeah, let's raise the mowers entirely. We'll actually go back over to this side of the field over here, because that's the longest straight line on the field. Of sorts. And we'll just run straight down here like this. To get a nice, big, mostly straight, in fact almost entirely straight windrow. That is looking good to me. Funny thing is, and it's something that I only noticed after watching videos of the Big M. This Big M, the actuation motion on the mowers itself is way too slow. Even the unfolding's a bit slow. In real life, it just kind of throws the mowers down and kind of flicks them up and down when you're raising and lowering them. Actuation on this is a bit slower than in real life, which is kind of odd. Usually the farm sim stuff is a bit overly fast, especially in terms of road speeds and working speeds. But we are more than able to... I've made a hames of this. More than able to just get nice big swaths of grass going here. It will very soon become many, many bales. Many bales indeed, and that, my friends, is never a bad thing. Now I'm going to continue this field until we are finished. I'm just keeping an eye on various different things to make sure everything's not all going wrong for once, which it probably will. It's also why the end of that row is a bit wonky. So, I think... I know I only just said that I'd finish this field today. I think I'll end the video here. And I will finish the field off camera, because it's only going to be a couple of minutes of work. And yeah, I'll leave you guys by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Thornton Farm. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.